Shine, shine, shine your light. Shine, shine, shine your light. Shine, shine, shine.
Hello, it's Nancy Maddox with Shine Your Light Radio Ministry on WYTV7 and iHeartRadio, and I'm so excited to have such an awesome guest here today to interview Miss Lynette Edwards. She is a published author, a motivational speaker, and a movie producer, an executive producer. So I'm very excited. She's had 7 inspirational books that she's done, and also is the executive producer of a live production based on her Amazon best-selling book, One Night Only. So without further ado, we're going to get started. I would just like to say that WYTV7 is a 501c3, a nonprofit, and we would really appreciate any donations or any seeds that you'd like to plant into WYTV7. We actually use that money to boost our broadcast and make our broadcast heard all over the world. So we're really excited about that. We want people to pay attention to our interviews and to know that we're interviewing very, very high caliber people that are just willing to share their story and help other people. And at WYTV, we say if we can reach one person at a time, then we've done our jobs. So without further ado, let's get started. Miss Lynette, would you introduce yourself to us and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Of course. First, thank you for having me. My name is Lynette Edwards. I currently reside in Lake Charles, Louisiana. As you stated, I've written and published 7 Christian inspirational books. One of the books in which was turned into a live production that we had it at Lake Lafayette, Louisiana. I've also had the privilege of going on Lifetime television and doing some promotions through National Gallery tours and television. So one of my hobbies definitely is trying to reach people and trying to just share my story, the story that God has given me.
That's fantastic. Oh my goodness. We need people. We need more people like that are doing inspirational books and telling their story and helping people. You know, we always feel like we're alone when something crashes down on us. We think we're the only one it happens to, and it's difficult to get over that and to really know that really I'm not alone in this. First of all, I have God that's going to walk me through this and help me through this. But not only that, many people have experienced the same things and are more than happy to share with us so we can get through things. So let's talk a little bit about One Night Only, your Amazon best-selling book that you're doing a live production on now.
Yes, I actually started writing the book. I'm an emotional writer, and so I can never plan to write. I can sit down right now and nothing will come out. But I was going through some things in my personal life, and I just picked up the pen and I said, you know, what if one day I just decided not to be that Christian woman anymore? If I just decided that, you know, I didn't care about anything. So I just started writing, and my thoughts became words, and it turned into the book One Night Only, which is about this young woman who's a Christian woman. She's trying to live right. She's trying to do all the things that God has called her to do, but she keeps getting the starting of the stick, so to speak. She keeps getting not the answers that she wants. And so she decides for one night she's just going to forget about church, forget about family, forget about her faith, and she's just going to have a night of fun. Well, unfortunately, that one night of fun turns into nights of agony and pain. And she goes from one extreme to the next, trying to find her way back to God.
Wow, that sounds awesome. Is that kind of based on a true story, or is it a fiction book or nonfiction?
It's not a true story. However, there are parts of it that reflect true life. The book actually is a 3-part series, and there are a lot of parts of real life. You know, as a young woman trying to travel the road less traveled, it is hard, and sometimes you do get filled with emotions where you just want to give up. But you know, at the end of the day, the same God who was here yesterday is here today, and you have to keep pushing.
That is one thing that's stable in our life is God, but you know, sometimes we're human. Sometimes we just wonder what the other side's like, and unfortunately, we find out when we explore the other side. So we find out lots of things that we don't really know how to deal with. So that sounds wonderful. So you're doing a live production of that story?
Yes, we actually did the first one a few months ago, where we actually, of course, had to change some things just for the live stage, but we had it actually waiting on the DVD to come out now. And so it's really just to show people that, you know, life happens. We all fall, we all mess up, but at the end of the day, it's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get back up after the fall.
Yes, ma'am. And will that, when that's on DVD, is it a possibility that it'll be made into a Lifetime movie too?
I would love it. One day at a time, by faith, you know, what God has for me is definitely for me. So we take one life one day.
Wow. Okay, though, that would be great. Did you grow up wanting to become a writer, Miss Lynette?
No, actually, no. Never thought of it, never planned it. I was actually working a previous job, and I was going through some things, and so a family member gave me a book titled Inspirational Women, and she said, you know, maybe you should just read this to motivate yourself. And so I looked at the title, and I said, you know, if I really wanted to motivate myself, I could write my own book. And I actually said it jokingly. Well, I grabbed my Bible, I went on a blank computer screen, and I just started typing, and within a few hours, I got the title to my first book, which is titled Just a Little Talk with Jesus, and the rest is just history.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And tell me about Still Standing. That's a book you've written. And
Yes,
what about that book?
well, actually, that book was written the one time in my life I went through a major depression. Unfortunately, I lost my dad in a car accident. I was going through a lot of emotions, didn't really know how to form the emotions together, and I was just going through some things. And so I just decided one night to just type. And Still Standing is just about knowing that the best is yet to come, that though you have been knocked down, the life has been hard, though you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, you have to continue to stand. You have to keep pushing. You have to know that if you put your faith in God, God will do the rest. But it's hard, you know, we go through life and we have different emotions. And so that story is really just to motivate somebody to continue to stand no matter what life brings you your way.
Well, there you go. There it is again. If we trust in God and we take time to listen to God, we can make it through anything. And there again, if we can reach one person that's going through depression and we get your book out to them or they listen to this interview, it could turn their life around. So that's what we're all about here at WYTV7. So I'm just so happy to have you here and to talk to you a little bit about all of this. What do you want people to know about that after they've read your books?
I want them to know that God is real. A lot of times we forget that He's still real. You know, when you sit back and you look at life and all of the catastrophes that may happen and things that you may go through, you sometimes feel alone. And I want people to know that you're not alone. God promised He'd never leave us nor forsake us. And so once you read the book, I want you to know that at the end of the day, you don't have to be depressed. You don't have to be upset. You can simply know that the same God that was with you before will be with you now and forevermore. So I just want people to know that God is real and that He will answer to all of your calls.
Well, that's what people want to hear. They don't know they want to hear it, and they don't know that they need to hear it. But when they're in a time of crisis, and it could be it could be us too. I mean, anytime we get more piled on us than what we think we can handle. I mean, even us that write about this kind of thing and are very faithful followers, we don't know how we're going to get through it too. So to even put it down on paper, just to have it available for people that need it, and that really is needed. There's so many people in the world suffering from depression, and you don't really know it, and they get in denial, and they don't want to accept it. So I think that's wonderful. What motivates you to write inspirational books?
Life events. Every day that I wake up is another reason to celebrate life. And, you know, sometimes we do get knocked down, like I said earlier, but just knowing that I have a story that could possibly help somebody is motivation for me. I like knowing that somebody who may have had a bad day yesterday could pick up a book and read one inspirational quote, and then all of a sudden their day could be just a little bit better. So just life events, you know, when things happen, whenever I realize that, you know, somebody has it worse than me, or that I could have been the person who didn't wake up, just the fact that I'm still here is reason enough to try to help and motivate somebody else into writing.
Well, that's exactly how I am. I'm a people person, and I love helping people. I've done that all my career at the credit union, my 25-year career at the credit union. But after I retired, I'm like, you know, God kept nagging me, and people don't like to hear it put like that. That's what happens. God will get in your head and nag you until you do what you're supposed to be doing. And I knew that I was supposed to be helping people. So one day it just popped in my mind, shine your light. And really I based it on that little childhood song that I sang so many years ago when I was a little girl in church, about shining my light and hiding it under a bushel and all that. And when I go back to that song, I keep thinking this is what God wants me to do. But it's not shining my light, it's getting other people to shine their light so they can go out into the world and help people. And that's what my show's all about. I want you to be able to shine. I want to be able for you to shine your light and get more exposure, get more out there so you can help more people, because really that's what it's all about. And when we stop blessing other people is when we'll stop getting blessings. So it fits right in with what I do too. So what can I learn by reading your books?
Well, you can learn that the one thing that I never did is give up. I have a lot of my personal life inside of the books. I talk a lot about some of the struggles I've had to endure, the nights that I've had to cry, and the fact that I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. And so once you read it and once you'll see that there are real people out there who are hurting. But at the end of the day, one thing I can tell you is I refuse to give up. And as long as you refuse to give up and you know that you can stand, you're going to make it and you will be okay. So I want people to know not to give up, just to continue trying, continue waking up, continue trusting God. If you just continue being faithful, God is a faithful and just God, and he will continue to do all the things that he said.
Well, that's absolutely right. I mean, you really can't give up. If you give up, where do you go and what do you do? I mean, you can't reach your mission or your goals or anything if you give up. As a matter of fact, when I was at the credit union, I had 50 people that worked for me. It was a large credit union. I grew it. I was there for 25 years, helped over 35,000 people realize their financial dreams. And I affectionately was called the Bulldog because I didn't stop. I mean, it didn't matter what mission I was on. I was like a bulldog, just going after it and doing it. And I would never give up, no matter how. And if I got knocked down, I'd get back up and go again. So, I mean, it's really true. You have to use your life experiences and be able to articulate those to help people, because that they want to hear it. That's what they want to hear, is real talk and real life situations, because you don't know when the person you're looking at or talking to may pick up your book is in the same situation that you were in. So tell me how God has worked in your life to make you what you are and what you think God's going to do for you in the future.
You know, and that's one thing. I have no idea what the future is going to hold, but I do know that as long as God continues to hold me, I will definitely be okay. God has just showed me that I'm never alone. Like I said, I've been through, some depressed times. I've had some hard days. But one thing I've learned is that if I just continue to trust, if I leave that to my own understanding, but it always acknowledge and trust God, that I'll be okay. And that's one thing that I've learned, and I'm still learning as a young Christian woman, is just to continue trusting. So I've learned to trust God. I've learned to trust in the good days. I've learned to trust in the bad days. I've learned to just lean not to my own understanding and trust at all times.
Wow. Well, if you're just joining us, I want to reintroduce who we have speaking today. She has Miss Lynette Edwards, and she is from Louisiana. Was that right?
Ma'am.
And she has written inspirational books, many inspirational books. Produced a live show for one of her books. And it's really interesting because she has a beautiful spirit, and she's giving us a lot of tidbits where we can really glean where she got her strength, how she got through things, and we can use those in our lives to get through things. So thank you again, Miss Lynette, for being here. And then I also want to talk a little bit, too, about WYTV7 one more time. We are a nonprofit. We do take donations and seed money, and what we use that money for is to reach people. We use it to boost our broadcast and to get our broadcast out on the international marketplace, as well as our broadcast on iHeart Radio, which is really, really exciting. That's a big venue, and it can really help anyone that we interview, any of our broadcasters interview, to get more exposure, which is really what I'm all about. I want my people to be able to shine their light and get more exposure. I read in your bio that one thing you wanted to do in the future is that you wanted to travel. You wanted to travel across America and leave an impact on those around through your words. So tell us a little bit about that, and do you have any plans? Do you have conferences, or do you want to get invited to conferences? Or are you going to set up your own tour, or what?
I've been fortunate in the past to have a few tours. I've actually done two, and during those times is what I've actually learned, and that's something that I definitely want to do at least every year. Go out and do some form of traveling. I was blessed to have a National Gallery book tour where my book was displayed at different locations for 3-4 months out of the year, and so that was definitely a huge, blessing for me. One thing I do want to do in the future is do a lot of traveling. Touch a state every year. Just go through all those and then eventually go up to the international states. To just go and pat forward, the word that's written down. I definitely want to be able to do more things, travel more. I do conferences. I actually done one this month, and I'm scheduled somewhere on next month. And so as opportunities come along, I definitely, take them, pray about them, make sure it's the right opportunity for me. So for the rest of this year, I have some local events. As of March next year, I'll start back actually outside of Louisiana and doing more on the road travel.
Well, that's fantastic. I know I believe you're attending one in March of next year that I'm attending. It's the Literary Affair. Aren't you a special guest there? So I'm really excited. I won't get to meet you until then, but I'm really excited about that. That's in Gaffney, South Carolina. That's going to be a national tour. The Literary Affair is going to be a national tour. We're going to be doing it in a lot of different cities. The person that's organizing it's going to organize it in a manner where we can take it to other cities. So it's going to be awesome. So I'm sure you'll be included on that. So your dream and your hope to be able to travel may just happen on the Literary Affair. You never know. I think it will. So also, you talk about your quality time with your family and friends. Do you have children?
I don't have any children.
Okay.
Right now, I spend time with my nieces and nephew. So they much enjoy the fact that I don't have kids, so I can spend time with them.
Well, I'm sure your nieces and nephews like to have you around. That's for sure. So, in life, we all go through tests. Which of life's tests have made you stronger, and how are you using your test to motivate others?
When I
have to get a little bit deeper here. Tell us a little bit more, because we have just time left. A little bit more about what kind of tests and trials you've been through.
That's fine. When I was at the age of 9, my mom unfortunately suffered from mental illnesses. She actually had a mental breakdown, and we went from living in a nice, comfortable, happy home environment, to one that was from what the world would perceive as a broken home. And so throughout my childhood years, my high school years, I've literally watched, the one woman that I love more than anything, go through some traumatic situations. And just from watching her, it actually gave me strength, not because of her sickness, but the fact that she never gave up. No matter what happened, no matter how many times she got sick, she just continued to just keep pressing forward. And though her mind wasn't where it should have been, so to speak, she just never did give up. And so I actually took that motivation to school, finished college. I'm currently back in grad school as of right now. For the past 13 years, I've worked directly in human services. I'm currently working for a nonprofit organization in which we help people and clients with developmental disabilities and behavioral health field, just so that I could try to help somebody. Unfortunately, in April of this year, my mom passed away. And so was not able to help her in the way that I would have wanted to, but by faith, I will be able to help somebody. And so I continue to work in that field simply because I want to be able to reach out and to help somebody, because I know the struggle. I know what it's like to have a loved one that you can't get to, a loved one that you can't reach on a certain level. So I try my best, 40, 50, 60 hours a week to try and help somebody to understand what's going on in their lives.
Yes, ma'am. Well, you try not to linger on that, because you helped her for many years. And trust me, God knows what you did. You'll walk the streets of gold one day for that. And your mom's probably up there sitting on the banks of the River Jordan, like my grandparents, waiting on us to come visit with them. So, but you did all you could do, which is fantastic. And that's what makes your spirit so fantastic, is that you have that in your spirit to want to help people. And it all gleans from you probably helping your mother all those years, because that's a difficult thing to understand. It really is. Unless you're involved with it personally, you can't really grasp it and understand it. So I think that you did a really good job, because that must have been really hard for you. and we are almost out of time. So what I want to do is I would like to be able for you to tell us a little bit about your upcoming events so people will know where you're going to be, and then also give us some contact information like where your books are sold and things like that so we can get that out there.
Okay, awesome. Upcoming months, I'll be local. I know I have a book event out of Ville Platte, Louisiana, which is at the local library. One of the featured authors. Of course, in March, I'll be in South Carolina, and we're going to start hopefully seeing more events coming into the 2018 year. All books are located Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com. If you type in Lynette Edwards or books by Lynette Edwards, the books will start showing there. 6 out of the 7 books are available on Kindle. So if you're a reader that you want to read, electronic book, you're more than welcome to do that. Or you can reach me on Facebook, author Lynette Edwards, Facebook.com.
And she's from Lafayette, Louisiana. So I appreciate you so much for being with us today. You're such a beautiful spirit, and I will be in contact with you and let you know, and we'll be advertising the show very much. And I'm looking forward to it being moved up to iHeartRadio. So thank you so much, Miss Lynette. And with that, we're done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shine, shine, shine your light. Shine, shine, shine your light. Shine, shine, shine your light. Shine, shine.